Phobias can be terrifying, but what if they were recreated in Minecraft? From towering heights to the deepest oceans, we're diving into 10 fears brought to life block by block. But before we jump in, here's a quick disclaimer. Just so you know, I used mods like WorldEdit and others that add new blocks to create all of these phobias, and I often used shaders as well. I'll point out any special details or unique aspects of the phobia creations as we go. Hey everyone! Welcome to the video where we explore 10 intense phobias recreated in Minecraft. We'll cover the fear of being alone, autophobia. The fear of the unknown, agnosiophobia. The fear of enclosed spaces, claustrophobia. The fear of heights, acrophobia. The fear of deep waters, thalassophobia. The fear of being buried, taphophobia. The fear of the huge, megalophobia. The fear of flight, aerophobia. The fear of big holes, trypophobia, and the fear of spiders, arachnophobia. Now, let's dive into the first phobia. For each of these phobias, I'll give you a quick showcase with shaders and a small story to help you really feel the fear. Before diving into the stories, I'll first show how I made each phobia and share what I was thinking while creating them. For the fear of spiders, or arachnophobia, I used the mod Arthropod Phobia expansions. This mod adds a variety of spiders and other arachnids like termites, and it even includes boss fights. Here's how I brought this phobia to life. I placed one of the creepy termites inside a dark, eerie cave. Then, I equipped myself with some gear and ventured into that cave to face it head-on. And now, here's the skit. This was the fear of spiders. Hopefully, you didn't crawl out of your seat. Crazy joke. Now, on to the next one. Now, this might sound funny, but trypophobia is an actual fear. According to Wikipedia, trypophobia is an aversion to the sight of repetitive patterns or clusters of small holes or bumps. Essentially, it's the fear of small holes grouped together. However, it can also be linked to a more general fear of holes, including massive ones. To represent this, I created some giant holes. I made these using the /br sphere command from WorldEdit. By setting it to air and using a high number, you can carve out gigantic holes. Now, here are two skits I've put together to bring this phobia to life. Hey, look what I found. Let's explore it.
Alright. I climbed down.
For the second skit, I used the same brush command in World Edit but created everything underwater to enhance the creepy atmosphere. Here's the skit. Alright, that was trypophobia. Here's what I've had to make for the actual fear trypophobia. Now, on to the next one. The fear of flying, aerophobia, is typically associated with airplanes, as that's the most common way we've experienced flying. In Minecraft, we can replicate this feeling, and even enhance it with the use of elytras. For aerophobia, I created 2 skits. For the first, I built a plane and filmed the scene there. Alright, that was the first skit. Here comes the second. For the second, I found a mountain range and constructed a small tower from which I could fly around. To amplify the sensation of flying freely, I used the Do a Barrel Roll mod. These were my 2 ideas for showcasing the fear of flying, aerophobia, in Minecraft. Now, let's move on to the next phobia. For the fear of being buried alive, taphophobia, I initially struggled to come up with an idea. Eventually, I thought of creating a mineshaft that collapses and buries the player. So, I custom-built an entire mineshaft, and here's the skit for taphophobia.
I think today's the day we can finally get this gold out of the rock.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, this skit was a bit shorter than the others, but I think it still captures the right feeling. Let's dive into the next fear. Now, for the fear of the huge, megalophobia, there's been a bit of hype around it recently. Many other YouTubers have covered this phobia already, but I think my idea for it is pretty neat. Here's the first of the two skits. For this one, I wanted to create an abstract giant structure standing alone in the middle of nowhere. I used World Edit to bring it to life. I had a second scene prepared, but unfortunately, the footage for it got corrupted. So that was megalophobia, because nothing says terrifying like a giant structure in the middle of nowhere. On to the next one. The fear of deep waters is not only common but also deeply terrifying. This fear operates in a straightforward way, evoking unease and dread at the thought of vast, unknown depths. To explore this concept, I used a shader and built a little structure underwater, amplifying the fear associated with submerged objects, an anxiety known as submechanophobia. Here's the skit. This was thalassophobia. It's pretty creepy, but I think the next one is even more terrifying. For me, the fear of heights, acrophobia, is a deeply personal one because I have it myself. It's tough to capture this fear within a video game, but I did my best with these two short skits. First, I built a tower with some fun aspects, and then, using the Distant Horizons mod, we can see really far, which makes this phobia feel even more immersive. Now, the second skit is even more unrealistic, but it really amplifies the fear factor. That wraps up the fear of heights, acrophobia. Let's move on to the next one. I think claustrophobia, along with the fear of heights, is one of the most common and well-known phobias. This particular one isn't too hard to recreate in Minecraft. I was inspired by a picture of a man in a cave, so I decided to build something similar, a sewer system leading into a small cave network. Here's my creation. I also created a second, more abstract skit. So, those were my 2 skits on claustrophobia. Now, let's move on to the final 2. These next ones delve deeper, and just as a quick second disclaimer, they're pretty wild. Let's jump into the first one. Agnosiaphobia is the fear of not knowing. It's that uneasy, unsettling feeling when you're faced with uncertainty. Think about it like this: walking into a pitch-black room and not knowing what's there. Your imagination starts running wild. That's agnosiaphobia in action, our natural discomfort with the unknown. For this phobia, I had several ideas, but I ultimately settled on a liminal, backrooms-like setting, though something feels slightly off. I was trying to build tension here, keeping the viewer unsure about what might happen. This fear was intense, but the final one is the wildest of them all. Here it is. Working on this reminded me of my other video, The Loneliness of Minecraft. Everyone's felt that fear at some point, being totally alone with nothing but your thoughts. It's wired into us as humans. Studies show we're social creatures by nature, and isolation can actually mess with our minds. In Minecraft, it's just you and the world, and that emptiness? It's something we all recognize deep down. Autophobia, or the fear of being alone, is just part of what makes Minecraft. Well, Minecraft. Showing it is easy, but it can feel a bit flat on its own. Hopefully, these skits bring it to life in a way that really captures the feeling. So, those were my 2 skits about autophobia, the fear of loneliness. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, be sure to check out my other video. To wrap up, this was my video showcasing 10 different phobias brought to life in Minecraft. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, because believe it or not, 99.9% of you aren't subscribed yet. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.